Hello, everyone. Market conditions mildly bearish in this bull market. We're seeing things weaken just a little bit right here. We've seen some of the shorter term indicators moving back down, momentum back into that hold range. We're seeing the breadth indicator still in that upper momentum range, but slowing to some degree, and also sentiment is also pulling back off of some of those upper levels that we've seen now for quite some time. If we take a look at the buy-sell ratio, we are seeing that with a little bit more of a bearish tone right here, sitting right at 0.73, so less than 1. Buy-sell ratio less than 1 means that you have this red line, which is above the green line. That's getting essentially more stocks in downtrends or sell signals than are in uptrends. That is essentially what the market as a whole is also representing, but this is a little bit larger database. So we're seeing some weakness there, also seeing sentiment pulling back, an attempted hold up right here, right at that 50% level. We saw that in S&P 500 as well, where we saw that big sharp sell-off, and then yesterday or Friday we saw a little reversal back to the upside. Let's keep a close eye on these areas right here, right where we're sitting, right at these resistance areas, and see if the market S&P 500 holds up right here, or if we start to find, if all of this starts to create some resistance, if we get too much resistance this direction and that price pattern, that price activity can't break through that and get to that upside, that's going to potentially have us retesting this 506 range. So some of those areas of support now, we want to keep an eye on that. We've been talking about these ranges now as we're weakening a little bit right here. 506 support, and we should see some significant support there if we continue to slide back down. If we hold support and march back higher, then obviously different story, but we're sitting right at this area of support that we're going to want to keep an eye on. We're also seeing bonds continuing to weaken right here as the bond market is not fully trusting the overall interest rate scenario. It is to the extreme, to the downside here, and potentially finding some support right at this 50% retracement on TLT. That's a long-term treasury bond. We're also seeing that on the short-term treasury bond as well, which is SHY, and some weakening there, both happening on Friday. If we take a look at sectors, we're seeing oil and gold continue to rocket higher. USO, which is the oil ETF, has had a nice parabolic move, maybe running into some shorter term resistance right here, as it is in that extreme level with momentum that typically will allow for, when you have a stock or a market that starts to go straight up and becomes this extreme range, can have some time here to work back inside of that 236 zone, inside of this momentum zone right here. So you could see a little bit of a retracement or a pullback, pause, however you want to call that, on USO here over the next few days. Also seeing silver continuing to move higher. We'll touch on that as it's a new emerging trend taking place. And gold has been really strong, have another 1.7% on Friday, as well as it's moving higher. Let's take a quick look at some of the muscle stocks in the group. XPO, which is a transportation stock, having a nice confirmation bar, increased volume, potential breakout on the upper range here around that 129 area on XPO. Also seeing several other nice names in here. SG, which is had been a big high flying stock here, straight up in this current trend from 12 to 25, having a bit of a pullback. Nice confirmation bar, about 6% on SG. And THRD, medical biotech stock, continuing to see those showing up in the list. And we've also seen some big large mega cap names like Eli Lilly pulling in here, LLY, with some support inside that momentum zone and potential confirmation bar. Take a look at the muscle stocks group for today, the new buy list, as well as, remember, don't forget that muscle stocks scan to go through. Sometimes there are stocks that are pulling back and still haven't had a sell signal, but are moving to an up signal, or moving to an uptrend inside that overall buy signal. Keep an eye on some of those muscle stock groups, as well as that muscle ETF tab. That'll do it for today's update. If you're interested in joining me in the Discord channel, where we manage the wheel portfolio and go through those individual stocks each morning, you can learn more about it in some of the description links in the footer of this video. We look forward to having you. Have a fantastic day today.